Hello. So I decided to make a deck profile, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I decided to make a profile for the deck I'm currently playing in an alternate format. This is called Partners format. It was created by Milligan's Library, and I will leave a link to the introduction video in the description. So I'm just going to go through my deck. You can find all the rules there. Basically, 80 card deck, 8 eggs, 2 of every card, and an alternate ban list. So with that out of the way, let's get started with my partner, SkullMammothmon. This has the effect when digivolving, draw 1, trash 1, and whenever an effect trashes a card in your hand, you can play a level 4 lower purple Digimon from your trash without paying the cost. And this is sort of a theme for what the entire deck is going to be. It's all about discard synergies, it's all about reviving everything. It's very fun to play. So I sort of missed this with my first recording. I completely forgot to do the Digi-Eggs, so 4 Demi-Marmon, inherited on deletion, draw 1, trash 1. Been a purple staple since basically the beginning of the game. Pretty good. And 4 Sunomon from the starter deck. When attacking, you keep 6 of your cards in your hand, draw 1, not once per turn. Pretty good. So for the level 3s, we're running 2 copies of starter deck Elecmon. It's basically a functional reprint of Labramon. On play, draw 1, trash 1. Speaking of Labramon, we're running 2 copies of Labramon. Same effect. We're running 2 copies of Fake Agumon Expert. This has the effect when an opponent's Digimon is deleted on your turn, you can trash a card at the same level to draw 2. Pretty good in this deck. This is where the alternate ban list comes in. We're running 2 copies of the BT2 Gabumon. Very good for a discard synergy deck. We're also running 2 copies of the original starter deck Gabumon. So inherited when attacking, draw 1, trash 1. Pretty good. We're also running 2 copies of the new starter deck Gabumon. Same thing, but once per turn, and start of main if your opponent has a Digimon to gain a memory. Running 2 copies of Gazimon, the memory blocker. Your opponent can't gain memory except for tamer effects. 2 Goblimon from BT14. Inherited effect when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, gain a memory. 1 Fascomon. On deletion, draw 1, trash 1, and then inherited end of opponent's turn, draw 1, trash 1. We are playing the Gizmon package, so 2 Brutal Gizmon. It's not quite as reliable as it is in the regular format, but it's quite a good way to get cards flowing. So there's that. You can delete a Digi-Egg in the Raisin area to reduce its cost by 2. On play, draw 1, trash 1. Can't Digivolve, and on deletion you can return 2 Gizmon from trash to the bottom deck to play an AT from trash. We're running 2 Psychmon, so players can't reduce play costs. And finally, 2 Sakaimon, on deletion to gain a memory. For the champions, we're running 2 Black Gatomon. It has Rush and inherits Retaliation. It's pretty good. 3 Evo cost, but we're rarely going to want to Digivolve into this. We just want to trash it and revive it. We're running 2 Icemon. When he's discarded, he comes into play, and for each scatter mode in the trash, it gets plus 2k. Speaking of which, 2 scatter mode. On deletion, Graceful Charity. Draw 3, trash 2. Can't complain. 2 of the new starter deck Garurumon. So in security, you can play a Gabumon or Mat from hand or trash. When digivolving, draw 1, trash 1. Which is pretty good. And then the inherited when attacking, draw 1, trash 1 once per turn. So it's quite good for if you hit it in security, you get to revive a Gabumon and then spin out from there. Speaking of Digimon with Rush, we are running 2 Ginkakumon Promote. It has Rush. On play, you can place a Ginkakumon and Ginkakumon under it. If you place 2 cards, draw 1 and gain a memory. I did try the Ginkakumon package, but I find it was better just to run the Promote for Rush. 2 AT. Obviously we're running the Gizmon package, so it makes sense. So I can delete one of my level 3s to reduce the play cost by 4, and then draw 2, trash 2 on play, and by returning 2 Gizmons from trash when it dies, we can play out an XT. Next up is a whole lot of ogres. We're running 2 BT6 Ogremon. On play, trash a card in your hand to delete a level 4 or lower Digimon. Pretty good. 2 EX1 Ogremon. When attacking, you can trash a card in your hand to give them security attack +1. Pretty good for if you're playing against a deck that's sort of more low to the ground, runs more rookies and stuff, because it's usually quite safe. And inherited when attacking, you can trash a card in your hand to give it +2k. Again, it's pretty good. And our last ogre is 2 BT14 Ogremon. Main and inherited. Once per turn, when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, gain a memory. Pretty solid. Good extender, I find. Now for our ultimates, to round off the Gizmon package, we're running 2 XT. So this has blocker, and when it comes into play, you can play Karada from the trash, and when it dies, you can play a Proto Gizmon from trash. Here's our first off-color card for the deck. It is one Chimeramon. Although calling Chimeramon off-color is debatable. So you can DNA over 2 level 4s, which is pretty good if you're able to revive 2. You can go into this for game. I've done that before. You place a source from trash under it, and it gains the colours of all the Digimon underneath it. And then if you DNA into 4 of your opponent's Digimon, lose 1000 for every colour it is, so it'll be baseline 2 colours, it'll be white and it'll be purple because it'll have a purple source. So that's pretty good. And we are running 2 Lady Devies. When Digivolving, draw 2 Trash 2. And yeah, inherited whenever you use an option card, delete a level 3 Digimon. Doesn't really come up too often, but it's fine. Because it's a discard synergy deck, we are running 2 Orochimon as a payoff. If you discard this, you draw 1. And when attacking inherited, you can trash a card in hand to gain a memory. You just want to discard this to get the draw, keep you cycling. We're running another payoff card, 2 SkullMammothmon. So when he's discarded, you can place him under one of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution source. Or if you Digivolve into it, when attacking, you can trash a card in your hand to give it +3k, and it inherits Retaliation. So it's pretty good if your opponent has a suspended body on board. You have a scatter mode, discard this, put it under the scatter mode, swing the scatter mode in, take out both things, and then pop off from the scatter mode. As a removal tool, we're running 1 ST14 SkullMammothmon. By trashing a card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level and one of your Digimon with the lowest level. So he's pretty good if your opponent only has 1 big stack out, just to clear that. I've had to do that before. Kind of hurt, but it is what it is. On deletion, you can play an Agumon from trash. Has to be Agumon specifically, unfortunately, because I was wondering, could I play my fake Agumon expert off this, but the answer is no. And then if you have a tie, it gains rush, but we don't run Agumons or ties, so we don't need to worry about that effect. And last ulti is 2 starter deck Wargorurumon. This card is crazy. When attacking, once per turn, by trashing a card in your hand, restand it. Solid. And inherited by trashing a card in your hand, I think it deletes one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. This is the pre-errata one here. I don't have the post-errata one. I'm pretty sure it is the delete a level 4 or lower, which is very strong. Now on for the Megas, and this is where it gets a bit interesting. Running 2 Creepymon. So when Digivolving, trash the top 2 cards of your deck for each of your opponent's Digimon in play. This is a 4-player format. You're going to trash a lot of cards. If you trash 4 more cards, you can revive a level 5 or lower. So this is very good for setting up and going to do another Mega. So it lets you flood the board very quickly. And when attacking, for every 10 cards in your trash, you trash the top 3 of your opponent's deck and he gets +3k. So he can be very big, especially if you're up against another purple deck. So I like having him. I think he's very good to see. Then we've got 2 of the original starter deck Skururumon. Has security attack +1, so that's always good for putting pressure on, and you can Digiburst 2 to revive a level 3 from the trash. That's pretty good. Not always the one I want to go into because of the 4 evil cost, but for what he is, he's fine. We're running 2 starter deck Metalgururumon Ace. This card is crazy. So it's an ace, it can blast Evo. When Digivolving, you can trash up to 3 cards in your hand to gain a memory for each, and when attacking, trash a card to delete your opponent's lowest level. I love this card in this deck. It's really, really good. Another payoff card, we're running 2 Nidhogg. So this gains a memory when it's trashed. When digivolving, you can trash a card in your hand to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. And our last Mega is 2 Titamon. So when digivolving, you trash a card in your hand, then you can play a level 4 or lower from trash without paying its cost. And whenever you trash a card in hand, you get plus 2k and security attack plus 1. And for our level 7s, we're only running 3. One's advanced deck, blast mode. I will stand by this card. It is purple Blitz Omni. That's the easiest way of putting it. It's purple Blitz Omni. And when digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. If you have 20 or more cards in trash, gain a memory. If we're playing a discard synergy deck, we're going to have 20 cards in trash. So yeah, he's basically Blitz Omni, but in purple. And sometimes it's nice to see. And we're running 2 Omnimon Zord. So when digivolving, you mill 3. Then you can play up to 2 black or purple Digimon with costs 8 or less from trash. It's very good for setting up more mega plays. It can also play Metal Garurumon Ace, which can then spiral into another Zord. And you can keep expanding the board from there. It gets pretty crazy. And when attacking, you can return a level 6 Digimon card in its sources to hand to delete an opponent's unsuspended 12 cost or less. Not a great effect, especially if you've got the Ace under it, because that will trigger overflow. But it's pretty good to go into once you know you've had your Mega out, it's done its thing. Just go into this and start going wider. And that's sort of the theme of this deck, is just go as wide as you can. Then for our tamers, we've got 2 Kurata. Obviously we're running the Gizmon engine, so we want to have this. What really matters is the end of opponent's turn, draw 1, trash 1. Then we've got 2 original starter deck mat. When one of your Digimon is deleted, you can suspend him to gain a memory. And 2 of the new starter deck mat. So he's a memory setter, and whenever you trash a card in your hand, you can suspend him to gain a memory. I wish I could run more of this, because this tamer is so instrumental in this deck. And lastly, for options, we are running 2 Calling from the Darkness. Yeah, this card's crazy. You can delete one of your Digimon, then return 2 cards from trash to hand. We're running 2 Underworld's Call. So this is another payoff card. Whenever you discard it, draw 1, and you can play it to revive a level 4 or lower. And similarly, we're running 2 Pummel Whack. So this can delete a level 4 or lower on the opponent's side, or draw a card if you trash it. Yeah, I like this card. And then lastly, 2 Purple Memory Boost to round out the deck. So what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the partners format entirely? I think it's very fun. So I've been playing a couple of games on the server that's made for it. So I will leave a link to all this in the description if you're interested in finding out more.